9:45 at night, and you are still at the kitchen table with a laptop open, telling yourself this is the last email. Your calendar tomorrow is already full before you have lived a single hour of it. You cannot remember the last time you sat down with a friend without checking the time. You tell yourself this is what a full life looks like. Most people believe a packed calendar is proof of a life well spent. A Roman statesman who advised an emperor and who watched wealthy men complain that they had no time to live thought the opposite. His name was Seneca, and he wrote that the busiest people are usually the ones who have handed their lives away without noticing. Picture him watching men step out of crowded law courts, surrounded by clients, calling out that they had no chance to live. He did not think they were unlucky. He thought they were the ones doing it to themselves, one appointment at a time. Think of someone you know who runs a full professional life and a full family life at the same time, the way a great many working parents do. His days are packed from the first alarm to the last inbox check. He turns down a friend's invitation this month because there simply is not room. He has not had 20 quiet minutes to himself in longer than he can say. He would tell you he is thriving because everything on the list is getting done. Nobody has asked him what the list is actually for. Here is the cost, stated plainly. Every hour that gets handed to somebody else's demand is an hour that cannot ever be handed back to you. Seneca said it directly in a letter titled On the Shortness of Life. You will hear many of those who are burdened by great prosperity cry out at times in the midst of their throngs of clients or their pleadings in court or their other glorious miseries. I have no chance to live. Of course you have no chance. All those who summon you to themselves turn you away from your own self. Check off, I say, and review the days of your life. You will see that very few and those that are the refuse have been left for you. Everyone hurries his life on and suffers from a yearning for the future and a weariness of the present. But he who bestows all of his time on his own needs, who plans out every day as if it were his last, neither longs for nor fears the morrow. That was written almost 2,000 years ago, and it describes a Tuesday. Notice what he is not saying. He is not saying that work is bad, or that ambition is a mistake, or that a full life is a wasted one. He is saying that a life can be entirely full and almost entirely absent, because being busy and being present are two different things wearing the same clothes. The meeting that ran long, the group chat that never stopped buzzing, the favor you said yes to before you had finished hearing the question. None of those things are villains on their own, but add them up across a week, and they are the whole week. There is a way to find out how much of your week actually belongs to you, and it takes about 90 seconds a night to do it. Seneca's question was not whether you are working hard enough. It was whether you have your priorities straight at all. Are you giving your hours to what actually matters to you, or are you giving them to whoever asks first? Sit with the difference between quantity and quality for a moment, because it is easy to say and easy to ignore. There is real evidence that beyond a certain point, more hours spent on a task make the work worse, not better. The mind needs rest and a change of stimulus to stay sharp, and past a certain threshold, it simply stops giving you anything new. So the person working a 14-hour day is not necessarily the person getting the most done. Cramming is not commitment. It is often just a slower way of getting less. Seneca had a second warning, sharper than the first, and it was aimed at people much further down the road than you are right now. He said that if you check off the days of a life lived this way, you will find very few days left at the end, and that those few are the refuse, the leftovers, the lowest quality days, the ones nobody wanted. He is describing someone old enough to sense the end coming, looking back across decades of a calendar exactly like yours, and finding almost nothing in it that was actually theirs. Not a wasted life in the way that phrase usually gets used, no scandal, no ruin, nothing anyone would call a failure from the outside. Just a life fully occupied and quietly unlived. You already know the fixes that get sold for this, because you have tried some of them. The productivity app that color codes your calendar tighter than it already was. The 4 a.m. wake-up that was supposed to buy you 2 extra hours, and instead just moved the exhaustion earlier in the day. The vacation you took to switch off, which you spent answering messages from a beach chair. None of those held, and it was not because you lacked discipline. It is because none of them ever asked the one question that actually matters. Seneca's answer was not to do less, exactly. His answer was to find out honestly where each day actually went. So each night this week, before you sleep, take out a sheet of paper or open a blank note and write down up to 3 things you did that day, large or small. Not a full log of the day, 3 things. It might be a beer after work, a scroll through a phone in bed, a text sent to a parent, or it might be 2 hours spent finishing something that actually mattered to you. Next to each one, ask 2 questions and answer them honestly instead of generously. Did this activity build your character or serve a role that genuinely matters to you? And would you have still done it if you had known today was your last day? That second question is not decoration. Awareness of an ending is what gives an ordinary Tuesday its value in the first place. Take the ending away, and every day feels replaceable, so nothing on it feels urgent. Put the ending back in, even just as a thought experiment for 90 seconds at night, and the list sorts itself without any effort at all. Some of what lands on the page will be small and forgivable: a browsed feed, a short nap, an unnecessary meeting you sat through half present. Let it be small the first few nights. The point in week 1 is not a perfect audit. It is an honest one, and an honest list of small failures is worth more than a flattering list of none. Do this for 7 nights, and on the 7th, read back through what you wrote. Look for the activity that shows up 3 or 4 times, that never once earns a yes on either question. That is not a moral failing. It is just a leak finally visible in a place you could not see it before. Notice what this practice does not ask you to do. It does not ask you to quit your job, cancel your calendar, or become a different kind of person by Friday. It asks you to stop asking whether your day was full and start asking whether it was yours. That is the swap underneath everything Seneca wrote. Not more hours, not fewer commitments necessarily. Just an honest nightly account of where the hours actually went, and whether you would sign your name to that account if it were the last one you ever filed. So return for a moment to that kitchen table at 9:45, laptop still open, one more email glowing on the screen. Nobody actually needs that email answered tonight. The calendar that looks full tomorrow was built by other people's requests, not by you, and it will keep being built by them for as long as you let it. Close the laptop, take the sheet of paper instead, and write down the 3 things that were actually yours today. The list will be short and a little uncomfortable at first, and that discomfort is the whole point, because it means you are finally looking. Ask yourself tonight whether today would have been worth living as your last one. Ask it again tomorrow night, and the night after that for years, not because the question ever changes, but because your answer to it slowly does.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss new videos.